watching how it goes through. Look at that. As long as the dough is dry, you can let it pile up like that. No problem. It comes right out like a cloth. There it is. Done. Next one on 3. And I'll do one more, and then I'll shut the camera off, finish it up. You can do the pasta pretty easy. Main thing, yeah, this is a small piece. Well, too late to change it. Set it back on 7. This should be good. Run it through. Fold it over a couple times. Run it through again. Fold it over one more time. The reason I'm going one more time, I don't know if you can see, I got to get the angle just right. Well, you see that you still got that edge there when the two met together. They're not quite melted together yet. So run it through one more time. Now I'll go quick, put it down to 6. Run it through 5. And then run it down to 4. And at 4. Oh, just drop the handle. Put some flour on it. Just spread flour on the dough. I know you can't see me doing it. Do it over here, I guess. Again, put that dough on, or the flour on the dough. Okay, you can see it. Not too heavy, not heavy at all. Crank back in. It's on 4, it's set on 3. I gotta pull this thing way over because it's wanting to go right outside of the machine going this way, so you get the feel for that after a while. But this stuff is really easy to handle if you don't make it too wet. I mean, I can put it in a ball like this and it comes right out back to a nice sheet again. If you can do that, you know you got the consistency right and you're not going to have any problems when you're making it into spaghetti or fettuccine. Okay, I don't want to bore you anymore. I'm going to shut this off and I'll finish it up later. Hey, I'm putting this back on again. I'm just about done here, but just to show you, the dough is starting to dry out because I forgot to put the saran wrap back on it after I chopped it in pieces to put through here. You know, the ragged edge, don't worry, don't panic. It doesn't mean nothing. Just keep running it through. And if you don't like that ragged edge, the only thing it's going to do is when you run it through the cutter to make the pasta, it'll just make short, ragged pieces. So there's something you can do with it. You just, fold it over, run it through the machine. And you get a nice piece like that coming up. I'll go over the setting. That's still on 7. That's still on 7. So just wanted to show you that. And even also, you don't have to panic if as you're putting this in, it goes to one side. Just keep grinding it through and it'll come out. It might be all smashed up on one side. Not a problem. Fold it in half, run it through again. There's really no time you're going to have to throw the dough away. Not ever. That's it. All right, I'm all done making the sheets. And by the way, these sheets, if you ever want to make lasagna, there it is right there. You just, if you're putting it in a pan that's this big, just give it a cut and put it in the pan. Just, you got it. There's a lasagna. However, what you need to do with lasagna is just boil it a little bit, maybe a minute or 2 at the most. Not as soft as you would get pasta to eat. Just so you can, so you can handle it easy. And then after you bake it, it softens up with all the other stuff that's in there. But that's perfect for pasta, with the exception that I usually have it set at 4 to finish it. 3 just gives you a little thinner dough. Probably doesn't make a difference, but anyway. The only reason I turn the camera on is to let you know I'm letting it dry here, but while it's drying, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on these sheets here. And just to give you an idea, let me pick the camera up and show you how much this makes. That one recipe to give you an idea. This is usually enough. It's more than enough to make a lasagna. So, there we go. That's how many it makes. 7 or 8 of those. Okay. Put the camera back down. And you can probably read the directions, but save you the time. This is the fettuccine side. That's the angel hair. There's nothing in between. Angel hair, you really got to have the pasta very, very dry to use it through there. Otherwise, it'll clump together. I've done it and it works. I didn't have any problem after I put it in the boiling water, but just in case. I'm just going to run a little bit of fettuccine through here. It's nothing to explain. You saw how long these were. Some of them were, you know, this long. I would just cut those into, I'm doing it right now, you know, into a decent sized piece, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever your size is. And run this thing around. And just put your thing, crank into the fettuccine side, and switch hands. Let the dough hang over the side. Get your hand under here ready to catch it. And if you got enough flour on it, it comes out where you can do this with it, and it doesn't all bunch together. Looking for, oh, here it is. I already had it out. I like to put it on one of these things, a cookie rack, just to let the air get all underneath it. I don't pile it up in a big pile. Just spread it out as reasonable as you can. But if you got the dough dryness right, where you can do this with it and then just pick it up and use it again, that's perfect. And that's what you're trying to do. If you can't do that, I wouldn't run it through the machine. You're gonna have all kind of problems when you boil it. So when you make your first one, if you can't do that, put a little more flour in the ball, work it around a little bit for a few more minutes, and you'll be ready to go. So that's it. And don't forget, well, you know, you don't cook it very long. I think the semolina you even cook less, otherwise it just starts to getting mushy on you. So that's it. Hope you enjoy your gift, and don't worry about getting fat. Just go ahead and eat and enjoy. Can you read that? There you go. Hopefully you can help me make some when you come here in a few months. See you later. Over and out. Hey, I have to come back one more time. Let you know, on this machine, don't wash it. Don't do nothing to it. Don't even wipe it off. You can blow off the flour. But if you're doing it right, nothing's wet enough in here to do any damage. Just take it apart, put it back in the box, and save it for the next time. And there's the fettuccine all finished and everything. As you can see, nothing's sticking together. It's nice and dry. Drying out some more. Put it in boiling water in a few minutes and then eat. So, just want to let you know about the machine there, okay? See ya. You just have to pretend there's music playing. Alright, if you're reading this, then you must have gotten your gift of the pasta maker, which I haven't taken out yet. I just wanted to show you, if you want to know how to make perfect pasta. First thing you got to buy is this. There's a camera. Semolina flour. You're going to be able to find it in Wegmans. I doubt you'll find it anywhere in Oneida. Maybe, but it's got to say semolina, and that's what it looks like. It's very coarse, almost like salt, a little finer than salt. The recipe I think I sent you with it, and it's in. I didn't use the one in Joey's cookbook because it'll make about this much. You only want to make a little bit. All right. First thing you need is a cup of that. See, just like on TV, it's all ready. I got all my people doing all this for me. Pour it in there. Then you need a 1/4 cup of flour. Regular old plain cake flour. Make sure the inside of this cup isn't wet like this one is. And mix it in good, so there's no more white showing. Really good music, so feel free to sing along. What that is? Did you hear that? Okay. Throw a little more flour in there since it's stuck to the side. So anyway, that's what you end up with, a nice lighter yellow mixture than this. And you do about 3/4 of an egg. And you're saying, how do I make 3/4 of an egg? You pour it, you back up. Put an egg in a cup thing like this, or anything at all you want to use, I guess. You mix it in. That just happens to be handy. Take a cup of water, 1/4 cup of water I should say. That's the other. So it's 1/4 cup of plain white flour, full cup of the semolina, and then a 1/4 cup of that. Mix it. Just mix it over this thing. There you are again. So Joey's supposed to, since this is a full egg and the big pasta recipe in Joey's book calls for a full egg, I'm taking a little bit out. You know, like about that much. I don't know. What's it? About an eighth of a cup or so. And then just start pouring it in here slowly in the middle. And you'll see what you get is you start to get these little dough balls, which you're probably familiar with since you made this, but probably the white flour does it the same way that the semolina does. That at some point, as you stir it, this I know you know how to do. I'm mostly doing this video so you'll have an idea of how to use the pasta machine. Now you see it's all little pieces. Biggest one maybe the size of your little finger. And pour the rest of the water in. And maybe a little more. At this point, you probably now start using your hands. And just form a ball. You're going to notice that this flour, it's actually a good thing about it, because it does have such a texture to it, almost like sand. Be like mixing dry sand and water. It feels just like that. You'll know when you don't need it anymore, when that texture goes away. Still got a little bit of semolina and flour mixture in the bottom, so I'll just keep grabbing it. At some point, I guess you can just tip it out, and just do it here. And because of the way it's crumbling, it needs a bit more water. And when I say a bit, you're just talking a few drops. It doesn't take much at all. Literally a few drops makes a difference. For making the pasta through that machine, you probably found it too. If it's too wet, the pasta sticks together when you start to cut it. And it's even worse when you're doing it through the machine if it's a real wet dough that you're trying to put through there. So it needs to get to the right texture. I'll show you in a second how to tell that. That I learned by trial and error. I can feel the grittiness of the semolina starting to go away. But you got to do this for about 2 to 3 minutes.